Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Paris to Pittsburgh. This is a documentary from the National Geographic Channel, NatGeo, and yeah, this is obviously, I don't know if you can tell from the picture, this is pretty much about climate change. It's an hour and 17 minutes long. It's from 2018, so it's not very old. A lot of the people throughout this depict some very current events, let's just say. Um, this is it's a touchy subject for some, I think, even though it really shouldn't be. Um, the name comes out of the president's decision to drop out of the Paris Accord, the agreement between all major nations throughout the world to agree to cut back on emissions and the pollutants in order to prevent greenhouse gases and to accelerate global warming and climate change, which has been accelerated at a great rate due to the use of fossil fuels and things like that. And there's some people who are just like, "Oh, that's not a real thing," whatever. This video is pretty much for you. It's not. It's not going to rant at you. It's not going to call you names. I'm going to do my best to not be political here at all in this, even though I have a very strong opinion. But in this sense, is going to make this video fairly short. In 2017, I believe it was, 17, President Trump dropped out of the Paris Accord, Paris Agreement, and that basically said, what everybody else is doing, we're not going to do. And he's decided to focus more on backing up fossil fuels industries and coal and everything else. What this documentary does is it travels all around, mainly the United States, well, Puerto Rico also, as well, who is part of the United States as well, in case some presidents didn't know that. And travels around and sees the real effects of climate change on those communities, on those areas. It starts in Miami, where the water levels are rising and are projected to rise considerably, taking away the existing shoreline, moving it inland incredibly in the next few decades. A lot of people talk about it. It's not even a question as if, it's when the people in Miami are going to start moving north toward Orlando, which is the next great cultural center for them. And it's inland too. Because as the waters rise, it encroaches upon the Everglades, which is the major source of fresh water for that southern part of Florida. And it makes it all the more difficult to make it drinkable and everything else. So it makes it really difficult. They move on to Puerto Rico, which survived a number of hurricanes just a few years ago, and were devastated. Many lives lost, but not immediately, but also because of the lack of water, the lack of electricity, the lack of so much else throughout the island nation, through other islands throughout that area of the world. But they also showed us a town within Puerto Rico that had already been experimenting with solar energy, and within a matter of days, they were back up and running. And they were the beacon of hope to everyone around them, and they were able to provide solar lights to other people as those resources became available. The radio kept playing throughout this time, giving news updates and just giving good music to listen to, while people were trying to survive listening to the radio on their battery-powered radios and such. It then moves into Iowa, which is like sort of the breadbasket of America, and it just provides so much food so mmany crops and livestock and everything else for much of America and beyond, for the world. Um, they are one of the biggest producers of energy through solar and wind. What many consider to be a very rural, maybe red state, and which went to Trump in the last election. It's more of a purple state in many cases because they've waffled back and forth in a number of different elections over the years. But these people are it's small communities. It's tightly wound, not tightly wound, but tightly connected people that they know everybody, and what I got out of that segment is that careers are being provided, jobs are being built, the economies are being made better through these different resources, through the building of wind and solar initiatives. So yeah, I can bore you about this because honestly, I'm not as pretty as the amber waves of grain and the beautiful looks at cities and things like that that this provides, and the people speak so much better than I can. So if you've ever had a question, regardless of your politics, regardless of what you believe is real or not, this is not a blue or red or right or left issue. This is not something, the last I checked, most of the people in the world are not fossil fuel magnates who run giant corporations and have billions at their disposal, as they have for more than a century in America. But everybody I know lives in a home, in a city or a town, and has a benefit of hopefully drinking clean water and breathing clean air, and wants to continue to do that and have their children do that for generations to come. So if you obviously have Disney Plus, hopefully if you're watching this, take the time. It's an hour and 17 minutes. Watch the Paris to Pittsburgh. Again, should I give you the reason why it's called that? The reason why, when this title exists, is when he dropped out of the Paris Accords, Trump made a speech and he says he serves the people of Pittsburgh, not Paris. This kind of upset the mayor of Pittsburgh, who very blatantly made it clear that he does not agree with the president's words, and it built to a bit of an initiative for not just Pittsburgh, but for people around the country to fight back and adhere to the principles of the Paris Accord, the Paris Agreement, that the president was denying, stepping away from. So we're better as a nation, at least at the state level, and the city level, the county level, than we were before, because the president decided to step away from something that could help the world. Again, I don't even get that political, but there's a very clear line in some cases, but it creates a divide that shouldn't be, that shouldn't exist. So watch this when you get a chance. If you care about the environment at all, if you care about how your cities are being built, how you get around your cities, whether it comes to transportation, or how much you end up paying for the home you live in, these things matter, and how things will roll out for decades and centuries to come. Will there be a Boston, a New York, a Miami in the years to come? We have the opportunity to slow or stop the destruction that is to come because of this. And we can do it with votes, because there's people who actually out there do care about the future of this nation, and not just the future of dying fossil fuel industries. So yeah, give it a watch. Paris to Pittsburgh on the Disney Plus streaming thing, you know. Anyway, let's pick tomorrow's. I got way too serious on this. There's no princesses or Star Wars to talk about. 125. What is 125? 125. Oh. Ah. Hey, well, we've had one of these movies before, I think. Yeah. Well, this is a short. Another one of the shorts from The Descendants. Wicked World. Descendants, Wicked World. 125. All right. So we're going to go for something very serious, very down to earth, to something a bit more magical with Descendants, Wicked World on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow.